Welcome back, guys, to another video. My name is Maku.
Hello guys, it's Kobayashi.
And today we're going to be talking about the 30-year Blood War arc from Bleach. Want to go ahead and start it off first, Kobayashi?
The first scene we see Steering Ritter J, and he's talking to Ichigo while they're fighting. And Ichigo is basically saying, wait, are you what I think you are? And then
Steering Ritter J cuts off Ichigo's train of thought and tells him, before you say what I think I am, I'm going to tell you what I am. I'm a Quincy.
And while those two are fighting, it cuts over to Soul Society, and they're having a captain's meeting. And Yamamoto basically tells all the squad captains to be prepared for war. And Yamamoto really wants to find out where the Quincy's hideout is at. Also, he tells them to be prepared because they might not even come within 5 days. They might come earlier. And then it goes back to the fight. We see Ichigo fighting against the Quincy. In the midst of the fight, the three girls, they suddenly, I thought they were dead, but they're alive. And then they cut off their left arms and they made this monster type thing called Ion, I believe.
Yeah, so they ended up creating this like monster after cutting off their left arm. And I'm not really sure how that works, but I mean, hey, it's Bleach. You can't really argue what they were doing. But they ended up creating this monster, and the monster ended up attacking Stern Ritter J very fiercely. He just ended up mollywopping him. I don't know if you guys remember from the Avengers of Hulk beating up Loki. That's kind of the feeling I got from that. And in the midst of all this, Stern Ritter J ended up saying, okay, enough of this tomfoolery. And he ended up powering up to extreme extents. And in the midst of the fight, you get to see Orihime and Chad in the background. You want to go ahead and explain that part?
Yeah, so Orihime, she's healing up the two girls that previously fought Steering Ritter J. While she's healing them, we get to see her Reshe peeling off because of Steering Ritter J's trump card, essentially.
Yeah, it sort of just sucks the opponent's Reshe, and I mean, it channels it into himself, right? So it just gives him powers and incredible healing attributes. I believe
he grows a pair of wings, I believe.
Yeah, which ends up like absorbing a lot of Reshe, so that way he can just regenerate and rejuvenate within his body.
And then also too, Ichigo, he questions, he's like, I thought Quincy's used bows. He's like, why are you using a sword? Steering Ritter J replies saying, the Quincy's you know about are from 200 years ago. We're the new evolved versions of those.
And as the fight continued to unfold, it quickly pans out to
Uryu in the world of the living. He's trying to find out more about the Quincy's race, more about the Quincy's history. He's really confused encountering another Quincy because he thought he was the only Quincy alive. So he's trying to find out in this library. And then his dad spots him. He tells him, what are you doing here? This is off limits.
Yeah, so his dad told him, yeah, this is off limits. You can't be in here without my permission. And Uryu said, I'm looking to find out the history of the Quincy's, but I can't seem to find anything in here. And his dad just replied saying, that's none of your concern, just get out of here.
But right before he leaves, he specifically tells him, the thing you want to find out about is not here.
So Uryu was still investigating in the library, but then he just reminded himself of what his father said. Oh, it's not in here, so it might be somewhere else. So he actually ended up going to his dad's study to find the answers he's looking for. Funnily enough, he actually ended up finding it inside a drawer, and that's where he found a notebook of his old master. His dad once again spots him and said, you cannot be in here without my permission. Uryu just responds saying, you know everything about the Quincy's? Why didn't you tell me that I was not the only Quincy here? His dad just replied with the same response, that's none of your concern.
And then Uryu also questions, who is his majesty? Who is this?
Yeah, who is his majesty and who's his mom? Or where's his mom? But his dad once again replied with the same response, that is none of your concern. And Uryu just ran out of the study in sort of like a kiddish way.
It reminds me of like a teenage girl bickering with her father.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Very, very childish.
Dad, stop!
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting. I hate you! that's the vibe I'm getting from it. And then shortly after that whole like scenario, it pans to the Ichigo fight once more.
So as Steering Ritter J is at his full power right now, he's overpowering the monster Ion. And right before he's about to decapitate the monster, Ichigo pulls up in his Bankai form, stops him, and then the Steering Ritter J is like, wow,
you got balls. Because I know you figured out that my source of power is my crown, but I didn't think you were bold enough to go for it.
And then Yu-Hawk senses that Steering Ritter J is in battle, so then he says, oh, all preparations are done. And then we get to see U-Hawk. He
Full-on Nazi invasion on the Soul Society. You just see him standing over the Soul Society with red-shaped pillars just spiking out of the ground.
The funny part too, right before the scene, we get to see the 2 Squad 13 members talking to one of their, like, the 6th seat, saying like, why are we battling against the Quincy's? Like, why are we having this war? He's just telling them the history between the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers.
Yeah, because they were like really conflicted. We do the same things. We're up for the same things. We're trying to just destroy Hollows, right? Essentially.
Basically, they were saying, are we in the right or are they in the right? And right before their conversation ends, the squad member tells those 2 people, say, oh, there's nothing to worry about. We got Squad 11 next to us. And then right when he says there's nothing to worry about, you see the huge spike of pillars of red shade just obliterating all the members around.
Yeah, as all these pillars are just emerging from the ground, there's just a bunch of corpses that just starts just flying around everywhere. Because, well, I mean, they're extremely potent pillars, right? So then
we even get to see Squad 3's Lieutenant Kira. He gets like a massive hole in his body.
Yeah, he gets like his entire like
torso, I'll say. Left side, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say left side of the, like his entire upper body was fully like eradicated.
And then we see other Squad 3 members. One of their heads just gets like completely
lopped off. Yeah, it was insane. And then like we get introduced to like a few new Quincy's actually, but they haven't said their names, I believe.
They haven't said their names, but I know their names. We see Bazby, dude with the pink mohawk.
Yeah.
Dude pulls up, he's like, oh, man, it's too easy.
Yeah, essentially.
And then at the end, we get to see my personal favorite Stern Raider, Yorgum. And he just looking so majestic, as always.
And then one more that popped up, but we actually don't know her name. It's just a girl. We don't know her name, unfortunately.
Fan favorite, though.
Yeah. So while all this is happening, they're continuing fighting. There's a war going on right now. We don't know what's going to happen after this. So this just wraps it up for episode 3.
Episode 4, most likely, we'll see the conclusion of the Ichigo fight. And then we'll see the massacre that's going to happen in the Soul Society.
Yeah, so stay tuned for episode 4. We'll come back next week. As always, guys, if you have any anime you would like us to talk about in specific, please let us know in the comments down below. My name is Maku.
It's Kobayashi.
And thank you.